Everyone pretty much already saw the OVA, but as a Naruto fan, there's things about this week's episode that you have to appreciate. There's no other way around it, like Naruto taking his kid Boruto to the Ichiraku ramen shop, but it's really no longer the Ichiraku ramen shop. Shit went straight mainstream. And then you've got Himawari awakening the Byakugan, looking bloodthirsty, ready to kill Boruto over a stuffed animal that got split in half. And then Naruto becomes the sacrifice. According to Hinata, she basically stopped his entire chakra network system. Absolute insanity. The fact that this little girl awakened the Byakugan period over a stuffed animal, and number two, took out a Hokage level threat. Now, obviously it's a joke, but seriously guys, in a way it could be seen as something serious, because here's the thing, let's say they were in a more dire situation and it wasn't a comedy gag, and let's say the Hidden Leaf village was being invaded by another village and the Hokage of that village decides to come and attack the Hidden Leaf village, right? Let's say Himawari encounters that shinobi. She was raging, she was angry, maybe her mommy just died, and she takes that dude out. Maybe accidentally, but still takes that dude out. All I'm saying is absolute insanity for Himawari to do what she did. And I'll keep beating that into you guys. I already know everyone saw the OVA. I know this is a rehash, but every time I see this, it still blows my mind. Oh, and I totally forgot about the credits where we saw Hinata basically beating Naruto out in ramen eating, because when I saw Hinata, the champion of ramen eating at Ichiraku Ramen, I'm just like, okay, I didn't even remember that, so I'm a little bit shocked seeing that, because, like, you go from Chocho and Choji basically competing with each other. Who could beat each other out? And I'm guessing they're also going for that world record. World record referring to the Ichiraku Ramen shop record. And you've got Chocho and Choji there on the ground, knocked out. Like, they just went through like 10 bowls or some shit. Would you expect Hinata to be the one that holds the record? If those credits never existed, I'd call BS, because they took something that was sort of a joke and they kept it, right? But I would have honestly felt like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. How is Hinata able to eat more ramen than Chocho and Choji? It's not in her biology. Like, the only thing I could personally think of is, as she was eating the ramen, she was using the Byakugan, and she was like striking her own chakra points and like opening up her stomach. And I don't even know if that's possible or not, but that's the only way I can really explain how that happened. Now, don't let all of this distract you from the fact that during the Ichiraku Ramen scene, when Chocho and Choji basically tie, you kind of got to question Choji's parenting skills, because this dude is literally promoting obesity to his daughter. I'm not surprised that Chocho is fat when her father is Choji. And I know people are like, okay, but there gotta be that one fat character. There just has to be, right? There's gotta be the Choji equivalent of the new generation, and I get it. But remember when Choji used all of the bullying that he experienced as a young kid, people not wanting to interact with him the same way that they wanted to interact with his peers because of his weight? Remember when he used that as inspiration in his fight against Jirobo, and he ultimately won, basically doing the impossible, because Jirobo was not only bigger than him, but he was also way more physically stronger than him, and he had like way better jutsu. So the fact that Choji was able to take Jirobo out was absolutely insane. You could argue though Choji only won because of those pills. It's just a little bit hard to feel for those moments now that you know like Choji is raising his daughter like this. Like, and I'm being honest, like if I rewatch that specific fight, I won't cry. Whereas I actually cried when I saw it the first time. I know Chocho is confident, she's got high self-esteem, she thinks she's absolutely beautiful, but I feel like she'd be better if she wasn't like that fat. I'm gonna say it. I feel like she could get cuter guys if she wasn't that fat. I'm gonna say it. But Double Four, she don't care about none of that. True, but even from like a health standpoint, she ain't living as long as anybody else in her class. Alright, that's a fucking lie, because Metal Lee is Kawaki, and Kawaki's gonna probably die in the series. No, in all seriousness, Karui Chocho's mom needs to step in and fucking tell Choji, like, yo, you're not gonna be taking my daughter to Ichiraku Ramen shop to basically have her devour 10 bowls of ramen, because that's just not good for her health, and that could put her in a dangerous situation when she fights somebody, and maybe she'd be healthier if she wasn't that overweight. Now, I do know the Akimichi's clan specialty is being that big. They ain't gotta go full out Choji with her. In fact, she could start using swords like her mom. And I think that'd be pretty cool. Like, what if Chocho is on some Killer Bee shit in the future? Like, you can't picture it right now, and I don't blame you, but If we do see a future fight with Chocho and she actually masters some of Killer Bee's jutsu, I'm talking his unique acrobatic fighting style that he used with those swords, I would actually be totally for it. Now, this episode had two central themes. One of them is the theme that's been basically pushed throughout the series so far, and that's Boruto's, daddy issues, where Naruto's not really involved with his family, to the point to where Boruto even had a thought slipped out where he basically wanted Chocho's life, and I'm not gonna comment on that. I mean, even Boruto was disgusted with that thought, and for instance, when Naruto came home after work, after he got knocked out, of course, and Himawari was there in bed, and he checked up on her, Boruto always slides these vague comments in that his father's uncool. And to some degree, it's explainable by the fact that he sees his father during his lowest moments. Like, when you're at home, when you wake up in the morning, when you gotta take a shower, when you gotta see people in the morning, if I had to make a day in the life about my mornings, I swear I'd lose half my subscribers in one video. And nobody would care. People would be like, yeah, this man's boring. Or he's just an asshole. I suck in the morning. I'm not scared to admit that. So Boruto sees Naruto during his lamest times, and he's never saw him when he actually had to strive to become Hokage, when he was hungry, when he had all those battles, because his perspective would be different. The daddy issues don't really hit home for me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't really care for that theme of the story that much. The deeper theme is the fact that dreams never die. In life, guys, you'll be on a constant journey, and there's a quote from Hunter x Hunter that really rings true to this theme. Enjoy the little detours, because that is where you'll find what's most important. You see that despite the fact that Naruto became Hokage, he's got a new dream, basically to protect his extended family, the Hidden Leaf Village. So no matter what you accomplish in life, chances are you're going to have more goals, right? Unless, of course, you blow out on some Buddhism shit. There is, an ideology behind Buddhism that desire is human suffering, and dreams are desires, of course. And if you, get to a point to where you have no more desires, you'll be fully emotionally stable. Anyways, we're not getting into all that. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's Boruto episode.